Yo, my crew the best. Yo, crew way less. My crew the best. Make the place blow up. My crew the best. Yo, crew way less. My crew the best.
Well, I think it's time to get this shindig started. Let's go.
Distance nerding.
Hey! yes, it is that time. It's your favorite time of the week. It's time for the build. Oh yeah, it's your boy Young Phil, and as you can see on the screen with me here, it's everybody's favorite husbeard.
Graveyard?
Is Graveyard everyone's favorite husbeard? You know, he is the favorite but husbeards, but it's the other favorite husbeard. It's Mr. Fours.
Yes, sir. Dude, I didn't even notice it till like a few seconds ago that like I've got less face and a little bit of definition.
Oh my God. Look at those arms.
What the freak is that?
Where are you coming from with all this? Oh my God.
I don't know. It's like, okay, it's working.
Dude, since the last time we talked to you, since last time we've seen you, you have gained some muscle and slimmed your face. It is beautiful.
It's enough to make Bowser cry.
Oh, and Bowser is crying with the utmost worst of the cryingness cries of the cries.
Hey,
Woo.
guess what? Guess what?
What happened?
We are less than 4 months away from the arrival.
From the arrival, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know what the arrival is, everyone's favorite husbeard is coming to California. Fours is making his way from Florida back to California. Well, California for the first time, but he's going back to Cali.
First time ever.
First time ever, and we're gonna have a great time. We're gonna show you all around the state.
Oh my God.
And
it's gonna be you, me, and La Jack.
Exactly.
Killing it.
Exactly. Right. Tater 88 shouting out. Oh snap! Fours is in the building.
Love it.
Right on, Tyler. So before we jump into everything, of course, we got to talk about the people who keep the lights on, and that
husbands.
First off, here the husbands, exactly. It's paying my bills. That first off, pod decks. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you heard right. I said pod decks. Pod decks are a unique interview question and episode starting prompt in the palm of your hand. So whether you are a new podcaster or an existing broadcaster looking to grow your audience or get more engagement, you're going to want to check out poddex.com. Now, guys, head over to poddex.com, use the code nerding10, and you get 10% off your order. It is super awesome. So you know, it's not only just the decks, and when we use them in our interviews, I'm going to be using a couple of these questions tonight with our guest. But they also have awesome merch. If you guys have watched the show and you've seen me wearing my Podcaster Supreme shirt, that is a Poddex shirt. So guys, if you want to check out more on Poddex, again, head to poddex.com, use the code nerding10, you get 10% off your order. Now, shout out to Rochelle's Bougie Boutique. 209 in the house. Yes, the 209 is in fact in the house. Pretty sure she's someone that knows our guest. So I'm going to say hi to you from Mitch. But jumping in again, Poddex. If Poddex powers the show, then you may ask, what in the hell gives young Phil all this energy that he constantly has? We don't know where he gets it from. Hell, I don't even know where I get it from. It's a lie, because I'm going to tell you where I get that energy. Ladies and gentlemen, young Phil gets his energy from Dubby. That's right. Dubby. If you're unaware of Dubby, let me tell you what Dubby is. Dubby is an emerging brand of energy drinks created to help focus, concentration, reaction time with no jitter or crash. Dubby contains no maltodextrin, no sugar, no fillers, no artificial colors or dyes. If you want to find out more about Dubby, head over to www.dubby.gg and use the code nerding10 to get 10% off your order. Now, ladies and gentlemen, there are 6 delicious flavors. You heard me right, which means 7 with the hydration. They just announced a new flavor yesterday. Oh, and I'm going to be doing a flavor tasting of it. It's going to be amazing. Yes, I've got the new flavor on order, Cam. I'm so excited to try it. So let me tell you guys, for people who aren't familiar with Dubby, who don't know Dubby, like Tyler said in the chat, bring me the sludge, right? Dub Sludge is a apple and secret sauce flavor. You got the Dragonade, which is my favorite. It's a dragon fruit pink lemonade. You've got Galaxy Grenade. It is a watermelon, guava, and lime. You've got Passion Joy Tea, which is a passion fruit iced tea. And then, of course, you have the Beach and Peach, which is a white peach mango flavor. They are delicious. For everyone that's ever gone to one of our shows, any live events that we've done, anytime we do anything live, we always bring the W with us. We always make free samples, and everybody raves on how delicious W is. Of course, there's the hydration flavor, which was the latest flavor, and it's not an energy blend, but that flavor is Monkey Madness. It's more like Gatorade, so it doesn't have any energy stuff or anything like that. Now, all that just to say, the newest flavor from W was just announced yesterday, and yes, I purchased it already, and it is on the way. I cannot wait to try it. So let me tell you guys about the new flavor. W's latest flavor is called Pushin' Punch. It is a fruit punch mixed with lemon lime. So I'm pretty sure it's just like a lemon lime Sprite, right? Or like a fruit punch Sprite. And I'm all for it. I'm ready for this. My entire body is ready for this new flavor. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready to try this. For now, I'm just going to grab whatever random flavors I have behind me. Oh, look at that. Bring me the sludge. I'm going to do Dub Sludge. This is just to show you guys that it's not just me saying, let me hawk capitalism at you guys. I actually drink this stuff. All right, so some Dub Sludge. Put that in my water here.
I'm truly fascinated by all this.
Have you never seen me do an ad plug?
I have, but I've never seen you like actually sample the product. So this is quite fun.
I always every episode I drink it. I drink a combination of this.
Young Phil, what the hell am I doing every single episode? Freaking editing something every episode. I'm on 3 effing screens here. I don't have time to look at everything.
Every episode of our show, I drink a concoction. Cam has been wanting me to do I did one episode where I did every flavor in the drink. Cam, when I get the new flavor, when I get the push and punch, I'm gonna do it again just to see what it tastes like with the punch. But I happen to grab my favorite flavor here because I just grabbed whatever random one was behind me. So this is the Dragonade.
How many carbs are in that, Debbie?
There are no carbs, no sugar, buddy.
Oh, that's keto friendly. Check that out.
Keto friendly.
Woo! It's keto friendly. Recommended by Roshi's everywhere.
So there we go. I've got those 2 things there. I'm gonna mix up my drink, but while I'm mixing up the drink, I gotta introduce our guest for the week. Right?
Bring on the guest.
So ladies and gentlemen, what can I say about this individual, man? He's been a day one supporter in our group. So you'll see him posting stuff all through the Nerdington Post. We have known this individual since the Hardly Hero days, since we were producers on Hardly Heroes. So we've seen him around. He's always been a dude that's like stupid knowledgeable when it comes to comic books. He knows everything. If you ever want to have a conversation with this guy, he will tell you, he will, if you think you know about comic books, he'll make you feel dumb. And it's not on purpose, because you'll be like, oh shit, I didn't know that, because he knows that kind of stuff, right? Mitch is a super smart dude when it comes to this kind of stuff. And now he's a comic book writer, and I'm very excited to bring him on to talk about the project that he's done. I read the book. It's great. And I mean, I have questions. So, I mean, without any further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to bring on Mitchell Martinez. What's up, man?
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, man. I'm gonna highlight you right here, and I'm going to switch. Yeah, see, Wannabes right there. So that's the name of the book. Right there is Wannabes.
That's awesome.
It's funny. When I first saw the name of the book, I had a completely different thought on what I thought the book was going to be about. And then now that I've read the book, I'm like, oh, you know what? This makes more sense than what the thought that was in my head. But like, no, dude. It's so far again. Is you only have one issue out?
Yes, currently only issue number 1 and is out. The next entry that'll be coming out, instead of issues 2 and 3 and so on, what's going to happen next is that issues 1, 2, 3, and 4 are going to be collected in a trade. So that way we can also get it out into bookstores and such. And we actually have gotten a release date from Simon and Schuster, but it's not going to be until September 12th of 2023, unfortunately. But you know, by then it'll just the first story arc will be available for everybody.
That's awesome, man. Again, congratulations on the release, man. Again, you've always been a dude that we've known as just like a you know, a guy that knows a whole bunch about comics. So I mean, it's super awesome that now you're writing comics, man.
Yeah, it's taken me like 31 years, but all that knowledge has finally come in handy.
Right, man. Ooh, this is a good combination. I'm just throwing that up. Yeah, no, I just tried it right now. I like that. I need to do that one more often. So that being said, let me go ahead and open up this interview here. So before we get into your story, let's learn a little bit more about you, man. We want to kind of just jump into your head and kind of, you know, ask a couple of questions as far as some of the things that like your thought processes before we jump into you yourself, right? So right. What is something that people are nerding out on or obsessed with, but you just don't get the point of it?
Honestly, well, and this is going to sound really controversial, especially with like some recent news, but one thing that I've never understood people nerding out about is honestly the Snyderverse.
Oh,
I just know I'm getting assaulted right now. I can just like hear it echoing.
No, you're not alone.
Now, see, I'm against you guys. I'm one of those guys that does nerd out on the Snyderverse. I do enjoy the storylines on that.
And you know, to the people who do actually get something out of it, I do like, you know, obviously that's fantastic. People like, you know, should enjoy what they enjoy, but I've just never seen the appeal of it. Just like this universe that's like, well, I mean, like the original version of it was just like so, like, you know, dark and gray and just like every single thing was just like so, just a little too 90s extreme, I guess would be a good way to describe it.
I would have said late 80s extreme because that's
love very some 90s extreme though. I live in the 90s.
Yeah, because I mean, you got to remember, like the stuff that Zack Snyder grew up on is, you know, Dark Knight Returns and Year One, which were dark and gritty. I mean, that's what's funny is that's what the majority of Batman movies were based on. But I mean, like, still, like, you know, he was taking it straight up into like comic adaptation of it.
And I do understand that, and it is really evident like how much The Dark Knight Returns, for example, really resonated with him, and that's great. But just the fact that he tried to do that with like every character in that universe, I mean, just like everyone was just like, you know, painted with like the same color and with the same attitude, but I mean, like one of like, you know, the great things about any superhero universe that their heroes are like, you know, of just all sorts of different types of attitudes, backstories, colors, but. Right. I don't know. It just seemed like his version was just like everyone's like, you know, a brooding jerk who apparently has like no problem with killing. I've just never liked that.
That is one thing that I did. I did take away from that. Now, like, I understand the reasoning for Superman killing Zod. I understand why he went that route with that. I also understand why nobody else agreed with it. But I mean, like, I understand his reasoning for it. Batman was the one that kind of took me back when they did BVS and he just killed a whole building full of people. Like, well, Batman doesn't use guns because his parents were killed by guns. So
cue the thousands of people on Twitter saying like, oh, but he used it in 1940 something or whatever, as if that just
he did. He the original version of Batman, 100%. Yes, he used the gun, but that was before they revised it and gave him a backstory.
Yeah, and I've always like had a problem with like people trying to use that as like a justification, like just because something happened in like the golden age, that means it still resonates here. Like, okay, I mean, like if that attitude explains everything, then we should see a Wonder Woman movie where she loses her powers due to bondage. I mean, that was a thing in the golden age.
Yeah, and I mean, like not everything in the golden age was something.
Or like we should see like Superman like juggling planets on like his pinky fingers.
Yeah. And I mean that's true. That is 100% something that's true. Like again, it was too much of a cross between trying to do New 52, but at the same time doing like 80s Batman. So I mean, I can agree with you on some of those points. But moving on to the next question here. So we have a segment on our show called Growing Up Geeky, right? And I know there's a lot of things, but if it just kind of like zero it down to like the top one, what did you geek out on when you were a kid?
Oh boy, you got a few hours.
And that's why I was saying, I know there's a lot of things because I've had conversations with you. I know you geek out on a lot of things.
Yeah. Oh man, like there was just like so many different things, but if I had to choose like one thing in particular that really dominated a good chunk of my life as a kid, it would be Power Rangers.
Oh yeah,
I knew it was coming.
That's it. Yeah, just like because I mean like I was born in like 91, so I mean like even though I was like even though I like wasn't even I was like barely 2 when when the show like actually premiered, just the second I was able to comprehend what I was seeing, it hooked me, and I've been hooked ever since, to varying degrees. I mean, like some seasons I just really don't like, but I am sticking with it, and I'm really looking forward to the stuff they got planned for the 30th anniversary.
Yeah,
wow.
Yeah,
that's a reminder that I'm old.
Yeah,
just shout out, rest in peace, Jason David Frank.
Yeah, JDF.
Who's your so I gotta ask this then. Who's your favorite Ranger?
Well, the very first one that I really liked. I mean, over the years I have enjoyed like certain members of different teams, but the first favorite of mine, and probably who will always be my favorite, would be Billy, the original Blue Ranger.
Okay.
And I mean, like as the seasons have gone on, I have like really liked other members like Carter Grayson, the Red Lightspeed Ranger, or Theo, the Blue Ranger from Jungle Fury, but Billy was the first one I like really latched on to. The guy who was like, hey, you can be both a geek and a superhero at the same time. Those things don't have to be separate.
Yeah. And I mean, David Yost is just an amazing person overall. So yeah, no, that's awesome, man. I mean, again, I can agree with you on that. I've got Saba in front of me on this side over here. So Saba's over here. I've got a White Ranger action figure. I mean, yeah, I've got a couple Ranger things around here. So let's get into a little bit more about Mitch and who Mitch is, right? So when did your love for comics come about? Tell us your origin story, man. When's your first, like your earliest memory of learning about your love for comics?
Well, probably my earliest memory would be again, and like when I was maybe about like 2 or 3 years old, and my cousin introduced me to Batman the animated series, and just from the moment I first saw that, it was just like, yeah, just like it from there, just like started snowballing out, because then I started watching X-Men and Spider-Man the animated series, and then just like and with like Power Rangers and everything. I was like, oh my god, yes, yeah. I just love everything about this.
Yeah. Once again, rest in peace, Conroy.
Yeah, that's it. Oh yes, absolutely. Or like when Batman Forever came out, I actually went to that movie as a 4-year-old in a Batman costume.
Oh, cool. Nice. I remember going to go see that movie specifically with a friend of mine. And one of my earliest memories on actually Growing Up Geeky, one of the things I brought up when we did our initial episode of Growing Up Geeky, I talked about how my initiation into Batman was my older brother, and he had a rubber 89 Batman cowl. And I would always want to wear that, and that got me into 66 Batman, and I would watch Adam West, and then that evolved into in 91 when the animated series came out. I was hooked. But yeah, man. So that's your earliest memory with so what was your first comic book like from then on? Was it a Batman book?
Actually, no, it was a Spider-Man book. That's kind of like the weird things. I mean, even though I stuck with those shows for the longest time, I didn't actually for some reason it didn't really click in my head to try, and give the comics a shot until finally I remember I was 11 years old and I decided, you know what, I'm just gonna use what allowance I have and just walk into a comic shop and just see what I could see. And I remember the first comic that I bought randomly was an issue of Web of Spider-Man annual, and it was part 3 of a multi-issue arc. So I had no clue what was going on, but just the artwork in general was just really captivating to me. And just right. Given the amount of comics that are now permeating my house, just right. I definitely latched onto it.
No, and
I eventually got the other parts of that story arc, so I found out what happened.
Right. No, that's good. Again, that's it's good because the thing is they've done studies just recently that it was something about your average comic book has 57.3 unique words in it. Most children's books have 30. Right. And adult novels have I think it's per certain amount of pages they have 54. So they said that comic books actually are the most enlightening books that kids can read.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. And I thought that was interesting. They just justified my entire childhood and said that I'm smart because I read comic books. Take that, all you nerd hating assholes.
Mm-hmm. The same nerd hating assholes who are now seeing all the movies with us right now.
Oh, yeah, all those nerd hating assholes that used to pick on us as kids that are now oh, hey, can you tell me more about Batman? Can you tell me more about Spider-Man? I want to know more about the Avengers and shit like that. It's
Yo, bro, I'm a real nerd now because I play Call of Duty at night. Yeah, okay, dude, you're awesome. Nice. Shut up.
Yeah. Bring in that one quote from Rogue One. Suddenly this is real for you. I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, don't hate on Call of Duty. I play Call of Duty.
Yeah, but it's not the only thing you play.
It's true. I play a lot of games, but I mean,
my stepdad loves Call of Duty. He plays that every night.
I just started playing again 2 days ago, and I've been just wrecking people, man. And I'm just God, I forgot I was this good at this game. Because I have my whole podcast set up, and I finally figured out how to have my Xbox run through my mixer. I've been talking smack to kids as Mickey Mouse.
Oh no!
What?
And it is hilarious. No, and that's almost exactly what happened. So the other night, I'm going off on tangents, but still, the other night, I got to pull it up because I sent it to Aaron Watson. He hasn't been on the show in a while, but we play Call of Duty together every now and then. And I was telling him, so I'm playing this match, right? And there's this kid. He's obviously 11, 12, 13, something like that. He's prepubescent because his voice is super high, right? And he kept perching in the same place. So every time he would go in this place, I would kill him. And you know how in Call of Duty, when you kill somebody, you can hear them right after the kill. Right. So every time, dude, what the hell? I'm oh my God. And I'm just doing that the entire time. Right. So, and at the end of the match, this kid, he's obviously mad. And he goes, where was it? He goes, who is the Mickey? Because my team still lost, right? But he goes, who is the Mickey? Maybe if your team played better, you might have won, and you might have won. And I go, well, maybe if you weren't complete shit, you could have gotten better than the 14 and 20. And he goes, shut up, Mickey. And I was like, are you upset? You just got owned by a mouse.
You should have told him the mouse now owns Call of Duty.
The mouse
Seriously.
Disney owns you now.
Oh, that's horrible.
Oh man, no, I'm a dick. I 100% admit that I'm an asshole, but I'm like, it's especially with kids. I remember, I almost forgot how much of a dickhead I can be when I play video games sometimes. And I remember when I first played Call of Duty, when it first became a thing. I remember talking smack to this guy. And I guess he got mad because I was cussing. He goes, dude, my little brother's in here. I'm like, yeah, this game's rated mature, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was just like, and I was like, yeah, so fuck your little brother.
Wow.
Admittedly, that is a very good point. Those games are rated for 17 and up. So I mean, like if people are letting their 10-year-olds play it, well, that's not your problem.
It's not my fault.
Yeah.
So he got pretty angry, but yeah, no, I can be a dick sometimes. Anyways, let's get back to this interview. It's enough about me. Let's talk more about you. So how long have you wanted to be a comic book writer, man? Has this been something that you've always wanted to do, or is this something that just kind of like came to you one day?
Well, I really started like getting the idea probably when I was like in junior high. I don't remember like if I was like 12 or 13 or something, but just like at some point I just like started like thinking about like, okay, just like if I were to come up with my own superheroes, what would they be like? And I like, just like started like thinking up ideas, and like most of my ideas at first, like, were just like, totally terrible. Like, oh, this character, but like just a different color or something. I was like, no, that's stupid. Just like, or like this guy who's like RoboCop, but he's an actor instead of a policeman. No. Just, well, yeah. I was just like basically just thinking of like a really bunch of bad OCs at first.
But I mean, you've been coming up with characters for like ever. Then, basically, is what you're saying.
That's it. Well, yeah. But I mean, like, at first it was like, just like a creative hobby, just like something I never really put much thought into. But then one day when I was like heading home from school, all of a sudden, something just like popped in my head where I just like pictured, or just like, well, my character Zapster. It's like everything about it, just like the costume, the powers, just everything just like suddenly just like popped in my head. I was like, okay, I need to write this down. And then well, so when I told my mom my idea, she actually sent me to this free art class that was at our local library. And that was when I first got to draw my character for the first time. So I was able to get a better look at what I wanted to look like. But I also reminded myself, okay, this is decent, but at the same time, I cannot draw to save my life.
Right.
But like that was like the most effort I ever put into drawing, but just I knew I wouldn't be able to really be consistent with that. But what I was gifted in was writing, and I really did develop those skills over time. And just by the time I got into college, I taken a few more classes in both English and writing and such. And at that point, when I was living in Sacramento and going to California State, it dawned on me that, maybe I should actually try putting something together and see if like anyone's interested. And that was actually when I found this company in Sac called Scattered Comics, run by this like really awesome guy named Jason Doob. Jason, I hope you're watching. This whole thing would not be possible without you. And well, basically, Scattered represents a lot of freelance creators, including artists, and it was through them, Jason specifically, that I was able to find my artist, Samir Simao. So
he's a good artist, man. Just reading through the book, he's actually a really good artist.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's actually done quite a few like different books, including ones for Scout Comics as well. Like, there's actually this like really entertaining book that he did for them. This miniseries called Shit Show.
Okay.
Yeah. Basically, it's a world where like basically this world used to have superheroes, but well, one reason or another, the whole world is like gone to shit, and like anyone who's like still left to live in it is like living in misery, or just like one of the remaining heroes is like a horrible drunk now. But I don't want to give too much away. But if you're in the mood for something like pretty vulgar with a touch of optimism, you might want to check out that comic.
I actually do want to check that out. That's right up my alley.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm a Deadpool fan, man. Come on.
Truth.
Very nice. So anyway, I started working with Samir and just commissioning him to do the art, and eventually I had enough material for 2 different issues. So that's when I started submitting them to basically any independent company I could think of, from Image, Dark Horse to Antarctic Press and things like that. The few times I did get a response, it was all no.
Okay.
So, and I mean, some people weren't even courteous enough to give me an answer.
Yeah.
But then Jason introduced me to this guy Andrea Molinari, who was actually now my editor, because I was informed that he was one of the editors for Scout Comics, this company in Florida. So I started talking with Andrea and this other editor, Richard Rivera, who like later on got a promotion in the company. But anyway, they looked at my stuff and they liked what they saw, but they also had notes on how to improve things. Like, for one thing, my original version of the comic was so wordy, just beyond wordy. Like, I'm talking like early Robert Kirkman Invincible wordy.
Okay, that's pretty wordy.
Have you ever read the first couple issues of that book? Just the wall of text on every page.
That's a pretty wordy book.
Yeah, that's what mine was like. And so they had to sit me down and said, "Dude, you're writing a comic, not a novel." And well, say as much as it pained me at first to cut down some of my script, I did see what they were talking about, especially how much my text was covering up the gorgeous artwork. So some changes had to be made.
Right. And the thing is, you can go back and write a novel, though. I mean, that's not something that's off the table if you want to go that route. There's plenty of books that have novelization versions of it where you can go deeper into the subtext of everything.
Well, yeah, that is true, I suppose. But anyway, I continued to listen to their advice and refine my book. And another big note that they had was that they did want to give my book a shot, but they felt that it would be a little better if I aimed my book specifically at kids. My original vision for Wannabes, which had a different title at that point, was actually something more aimed at older teens and adults. And Andrea told me that my book had more of a kick-ass vibe to it, if anything else.
And that's kind of what I got from it too. I got kind of a cross between Kick-Ass and a cross between Kick-Ass and God, what's the Boys?
That's it. Oh, oh wow.
Oh. Yeah, well, I mean that's the vibe that I got from it. It kind of feels like like I said, a cross between Kick-Ass and the Boys.
Yeah. Oh, you should see what the original looked like then. Yeah, my original version, had blood and cussing and just basically I was just very uninhibited when I wrote it. Just basically with the notes I was given, I was able to be much more creative with the restraints that I had to work in, which is fantastic. It's one thing to have complete freedom, but at the same time, if you don't make something coherent and stable, then you don't really have anything.
Yeah, and the Boys vibe that I got from it, not so much the ultra violence and everything, but more so the storyline feels like it's not satirical, but almost has a it's poking fun at traditional superhero tropes.
Well, yeah. I mean, I guess a certain extent, I could see that. I mean, personally, I love traditional superhero tropes. Traditional superheroes, is my bread and butter. But since I know those tropes so well, it is also very easy to to look at them from a different angle and such.
Right. And again, I enjoy books that do that because it does set it apart from other books. Makes it something that's a little bit different, which makes it more interesting.
Right. Definitely. So as I continue to work with Scout, I also continue to to bring about more new pages of art. I mean, by that point, I did have enough to present to them, but I wanted to just keep going to finish this first initial story arc that I have in mind, issues 1 to 4. And fortunately, after I did refine everything and presented it to them, So lo and behold, I got a response that they wanted to sign me, and well, it happened.
Right. No, and that's awesome, dude. It's super awesome. Hold on, I'm just going through the chat here, just because I always have to pay attention here. Holy crap, there's a lot going on in the chat. All right, hold on.
It's James greeting everybody.
Okay, I see that right there. James saying great logo. Yeah, and the Wannabes logo is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I agree for sure. But the original, like I said before, my comic originally had like a different title in mind. Like it was originally, well, the main hero Zapster, he originally had like a different name in mind, and I was just gonna call the comic that, and like, but the logo that was like originally on there, it was like, I thought it looked cool, but it was actually like pretty hard to read. Like they pointed out to me, like, okay, if someone was like seeing this in like a shop or like a convention from like a distance, you wouldn't be able to like read what this says. So that's kind of a problem. Plus, then they told me I had to change the name of the character because it turns out somebody somewhere was already using that name. So we came up with Zapster instead, and they felt that a title like Wannabes was like a lot more eye-catching and original. Plus, the book is literally about two boys who are becoming wannabe superheroes. So
right. And we're gonna get to that because I have questions about all that kind of stuff too. Because I mean, again, it's an interesting read, man. So before we jump into any of that, who were some of your influences as a writer?
Oh geez. Let's say it's kind of hard to just like pick just one, but well, I'd say that like Eastman and Laird were like definitely a big influence on me. Just like because I mean I never really read like many of like the original Ninja Turtle comics, but just like mostly like the adaptations of it, like the original '90s movie or the fantastic 2003 cartoon. I know were like very reminiscent of the comics.
Right.
So so I mean like that really did strike a chord with me. And I also grew up really loving Brian Michael Bendis's original run on Ultimate Spider-Man. I think he's kind of like he kind of lost his way a while ago, but that original like initial like 150 pages or issues of that book just so that one is also a series that really struck a chord with me. But again, they're just like it's just it's hard to like really narrow down just all the different ones that I've enjoyed.
Yeah, and Laird and Eastman are definitely good writers to go back on. Brian Michael Bendis, I mean, just throw it out there. I mean, the dude has created some pretty iconic characters, from the Runaways to I mean, Miles Morales. He created Miles Morales. So, I mean, that's kind of a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, that's awesome. And again, I can see some of that influence in there. So it's pretty awesome. So where, and I know you kind of mentioned a little bit of this earlier, some stuff from high school, but where did the inspiration for Wannabes come from? Like the entire story and kind of how you came about with everything.
Well, after I got the idea for just like for the character and his powers and everything, I just started just like thinking about just to just like ask myself like, okay, if I were picking up this book, what's the kind of story I would want to read? Like, what's something that would interest me?
Okay.
So, so the first thing I wanted to do was since I was a teenager at the time, I wanted like to have someone like who was like so around my age range. Plus I'm also plus it's like I'm also like super into anime, and I know that like a lot of those shows like tend to like start when a character's like 15 and like just starting their high school and everything. So so I thought that like maybe starting at that point would be like, okay, here's where things get very interesting in this person's life. So here's where the story really begins.
Right, because they're both 15, right?
Yes. So from there, I just started pulling from and I was like just started going through my comic collection and movie and like DVD collection, just like just started looking at the different stories that I've enjoyed over the years, and like just like seeing like what would really get my creative juices flowing, and I like started pulling from my own experiences and like how I like picture things might go, and just like think to myself like, okay, like what would like happen if I seriously did try, like, like throwing on like a mask and a hoodie and like, try to be a superhero, and chances are I would get my butt kicked, much like these guys do in issue 1.
Right. It's very
but then what would happen if like superpowers entered it? So just it's a real hodgepodge of like different things that just really come to me.
Right. And I mean, that's kind of, again, that's kind of the feeling I got. It's very kick ass, but then they get superpowers, and it's you're taking it to that next level from just these two kids that want to be vigilantes to these two kids who want to be vigilantes that actually get superpowers.
Yeah. And and superpowered heroes have like always is like, interested me more. I mean, don't get me wrong, Batman is my boy. He always will be. He was like, my first superhero. I love Batman to death. But in terms of like actually writing characters, I prefer for the most part writing characters who do have powers. I mean, I do have ideas for like a couple of characters that don't have powers that, if the series does indeed take off, I will plan on introducing them. But for the most part, I do prefer handling heroes that do have powers.
Okay, awesome. By the way, let's welcome La Jack onto the show.
Hello. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep, we can hear you just fine, Jack. You came in just in time because Forrest has to get going here in a minute. But so getting into the next question here. So how many issues do you have planned on the first run? Because right now it's just the first one. You said that you've got 3 more coming out in kind of almost like a graphic novel style thing. But like, how many issues do you plan on having in this first run altogether?
Well, the series itself is going to be an ongoing thing, because I mean, it's actually part of this new line that Scout Comics recently started, and where it's like a line of books that are aimed strictly at kids called Scoot Comics.
Okay.
And it's an ongoing title. So after the graphic novel with the first 4 issues comes out, it's just going to be, like I said, ongoing. Like after that, issue 5 will come out, and then issue 6, and the following issues are going to be like, more one-shot stories, so people can better, or jump onto it at those points if they want to, and then go back and read the graphic novel if they want. But yeah, I have plans for like many different issues, and hopefully they all come to fruition.
Right. So I noticed that you're doing like cons and stuff like that, doing like signing events and things like that. How was the reception for the book been so far?
From what I've heard, the people who have actually given me their feedback, they do seem to really enjoy it. Like they like the art, they like the characters, and just yeah. For the most part, I have been getting some pretty good feedback. Just and I'm trying to get the book into into the hands of some people who on YouTube, for example, who review books to see what they think, positively or negatively. So I'm curious.
Right. I mean, because that's the best way to get feedback.
Mm-hmm.
We're still trying to get people to give us negative reviews. So let's get a little bit into the book, man. So Walter and Jordan. We see some of Jordan's family life, and there's the hint into Walter's, which I'm sure we're gonna get into like one of the next issues. But where, are they just going to be going by their names at the moment? Do you have plans for hero aliases? I think you mentioned Zapster for Jordan.
Yeah, yeah, Zapster for Jordan, and Walter later on when he gets his powers. Well, not to give too much away, but he's going to be called the Drench.
Okay, the Drench.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you see how issue 1 ends, you might get an idea why.
Yeah. I absolutely understand that. Okay. So that's pretty cool. So we've got that going on.
James had mentioned in the chat, and you may have answered it. I think you might have been answering it when I hopped on, but do you what is your local comic book shop? Empire Comic? Is it Empire Comics?
Well, Empire Comics, it is the shop that I do continue to go to. It is it's a shop that I first started going to back when I lived in Sacramento for when I was in college, and I still do make a habit of going up there at least once a month, just because I just love that shop so much. But where I'm living right now in Lodi, my local shop, the closest shop to me right now is actually the shop called the Launchpad.
Okay.
Yeah, but in terms of where I shop, it is still Empire's Comics and Art and Arcade.
Nice, which is funny because Ben's actually going to be on the episode next week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Ben's going to be on the show next week because he's going to talk about his I was going to say production company, but his publishing company.
Lady and gents, I hate to do it, but I got to jump and get things prepared for my live in 15 minutes. But I freaking love distance learning and everything about it. So until next time.
Fours out. Actually, Forrest, before you go, man, tell people where to find you.
ForsFX.com if you want to buy sound fonts for your lightsabers. Other than that, you can find me on saberfont.com. And other than that, you can find me on the Kyber Cave channel where I'm putting up like 18 gaming streams and shows and stuff a week. And it's ridiculous. And I really got to slow down.
Yeah. And Callista Protocol, which just came out. So I'm excited. I'm probably going to go watch that later.
Yep. 15 minutes. So love you guys. Mitchell, congratulations on the comic. And I can't wait to check it out myself. And I want to sign a copy.
You got it.
Bye, you guys. Have a good
one.
one.
All right, man. Take care, bro. So just to go back into the chat here, because a couple of things that James has been asking in the chat. Actually, no, we'll come back to that stuff because I do have a couple of other questions. So because that means we have audience questions, which is good. So are there any other characters that we're going to focus on in the series, or is it really just going to be focusing on Jordan and Walter? Like, are we going to get any other characters introduced in this particular run, or is that going to be like more in the one shots and later runs?
Well, yes. Later in the story arc, as you'll see in the graphic novel, there will be more characters introduced. Like we'll get to see a little more of Jordan's family and his two close friends, Mark and Nori, who will end up learning about his whole situation, and we'll see how that develops with there. And I mean, we'll also be getting into more of the initial villains in this, and then after the graphic novel, we'll continue to expand both the supporting cast and the villain roster.
Okay, so we're going to be getting almost like an X-Men kind of thing eventually out of this.
What do you mean?
Meaning like the world building, right? You're going to get more into just.
Yeah. Of course. So yeah, the world building is definitely something I do want to explore more. But just the first key priority is establishing everything in Jordan's particular corner of the universe and how it operates. But I do eventually want to showcase more of how this world works, because even as issue 1 showcases, in this world, superheroes have existed in real life since World War II. So
right.
As people with powers has been a regular thing for quite a while, and just with Jordan just being with Zapster being the new kid on the block, it's gonna be interesting. You'll see how he fits into just this world as he tries to find his footing as a superhero.
Right, and I picked up on that pretty early, so I was like, "Oh, that means that he in building the world the way you have, we're definitely going to get a lot more stories out of it." So speaking of the world building, and I love the world building that you have in here. I see you taking elements from other popular IPs where the world is already lived in, and we're dropping into the story kind of in the point where they're at. Do you have plans for just building the world at large, just making it that much bigger?
I do have a lot of ideas. It's just I'm just trying to tackle it one step at a time. I just don't want to get too crazy too fast.
Right.
I'm just going to interject a little bit. So I was sitting here listening to you guys, and I was thinking about, because I also do some writing. I don't do the graphic novel part of it or whatever. And I do writing. I create characters, and I have created this world that my characters live in. Anyways, I was thinking about how I've always been, for the last couple of years when I've been thinking about these things, I almost felt for me personally, and this is just, I have a point to this. For me personally, I've always been and I have reasons for it, but I've always been ashamed to share it with people because I'm afraid they're going to correct me or tell me what to do with my world or how to make it better, or anything like that. So I've kept it to myself for a long time, but I just wanted to put out there, like, when you have, like, I think when you create characters and you have these worlds, like, you already know what the world is about. Like, you know what it's about. Like, you know who does what, who's done what, who likes what, like, down to, like, their little like their little idiosyncrasies. Like, you know that, but it's just a matter of there's such a it's just like living in the real world. There's all these different characters and they all work together and they create this like community, whether it's a world, in these worlds. These worlds are essentially like communities. So you do have to be kind of strategic about, which character are you going to release to reality that will essentially be the catalyst to releasing all these other characters. So that's probably the most profound thing I'm ever going to say. So, yeah.
So, I mean, speaking on that, just kind of that just gave me another idea. So, what made you choose to start with Walter and Jordan of all the characters that you've created?
That's it. Well, I mean, like, Jordan Zapster was really the first one I had in mind. I knew he was going to be the main character from the start. And as for Walter, I wanted to establish someone who, like, started out as, like, his, like, close and personal best friend, but also someone who, like, has served as, like, a reflection of what he easily could become if he's, like, not too careful. Because I mean, like, as you see in the book, Walt does also want to fight crime, but he's also willing to, like, be just as, like, conniving and dirty and horrible as the guys they're fighting against. And George is like, you can't do that. You can't. But of course, like, when he says that, Walt thinks he's, like, just being naive. He's like, no, this is how the world works. This is how you get things done. This is what we need to do. And it's just so I, like, really wanted, like, to just, like, put these two at odds, despite the fact that they're supposed to be friends. But it's, like, very clear that there's, like, some serious issues that have been building up for a while, and now finally, with what happens to them, everything comes exploding out in a pretty, crazy way.
Right. I get a big Red Hood vibe out of him.
It's oh yeah, he definitely falls into that category. He loves violence, loves being uber obnoxious and full of himself. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Like more so than that. Like it's more so just his outlook on crime fighting is, we have to fight with the same tactics that our enemies fight with.
Mm-hmm.
And Jason Todd, because Jason Todd technically got killed, Jason Todd's entire outlook is because of that. So it's just kind of like it's interesting to see, like, he the choices he makes, because he, like, it's almost like there's a level of nihilism that he doesn't believe that there's true good in the world. So he fights the way he does.
Yeah, definitely. And throughout the course of the graphic novel, so you will get more and more into Walt's headspace. So, like, try and, like, to see, like, where his logic is coming from, why he does what he does. And again, if things do progress, as my plan is to, after issues 5 and 6, which will be one shots, I then hopefully plan on putting out issues 7 and 8, which would be a 2-parter that really delves into Walt's backstory and, like, fully explains how he became like this.
Right. I mean, it's like I said, we get into Jordan's backstory in this first issue, and I'm interested because they make a couple references about, like, his home life, and that makes me believe that the reason that he's the way he is because, I don't want any spoilers. You can say yes or no, but, like, I feel like he's abused.
That's it. You're in the ballpark.
Yeah, it seems like, because Jordan has a neglectful dad, I feel like Walter has an abusive parent. I'm not gonna say dad or mother, because it can be either way, but I feel like one of his parents is abusive, and that's why he acts the way he does.
Sorry. Oh, I short circuited for a second.
Happens to me all the time.
Good. I'm glad I'm in. I can never think of that word.
In good company.
In good company. I always want to say in present company, and I know that's not right. So one of the questions that James had on here just kind of goes back to just kind of like your story, your story within your story, is what have been some of your challenges with getting your work out there?
Well, again, and my first challenge was when I had like the very early versions of the first couple issues, when I sent it out to pretty much any independent company I could think of. The challenge was just not getting any answer at all, or getting an answer that said thank you but no. and so again, when I finally got the attention from Scout Comics and got their notes and saw ways to improve my book, it really was a godsend. And so, but it's also been a bit tricky when it comes to just getting the book together, because I mean, writing is one thing. I can write up a script and have my editor take a look at it. That's one thing. But then there also comes a matter of finding the right artist, and then paying them by the page and everything. Art is expensive, just so.
Right.
Because I mean, for a while that has been part of it, but I'm just hoping. But now that my book is out there, and I finally got the release date for the graphic novel coming out next year, so I'm just really grateful for that, and just I'm hoping that it gets a little easier from here, but we'll see.
Right, and that's it for as far as questions from me. I know we have a couple in the audience, so let's go ahead and go into those. I saw one earlier from James.
I don't know how far you want to go back, but I've been kind of keeping track of James's, which
there was one, and I was wondering about this too, because you talked about Eastman and Laird earlier. Did you read Ronin?
That's it. Ronin, no, I haven't. When it comes to them, I'm more of a strictly Ninja Turtles kind of guy.
Yeah, so I have the first 4 issues of Ronin, of Ninja Turtles Ronin. That is.
Wait, are you talking about the last Ronin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about something. Okay.
Oh no,
I have. Yeah, sorry.
No. I know what you're talking about. That
I haven't read Ronin yet, but I am interested in checking that book out.
Yeah, so like I said, I have the first 4 issues. They just released the 5th issue. I'm trying to get, because I have first editions that are in the plastic, and I'm not going to take them out because I'm probably going to get them graded because it's going to be worth something. I know they, with the 5th issue, they also released the graphic novel, so I'm going to get the graphic novel so I can actually read it, and that way I have the other ones as collectors.
Nice.
Right? I have a dumb question. So do writers, artists, comic books, do they do issues and then they put the issues together in a graphic novel?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, just it depends on the situation, because I mean, from what I've understood, the traditional way of doing it is just put out the issues individually, and then once that story arc, whether it's 3 or 4 or 12 issues long or whatever, once that's done, then they collect it in the book. But with my initial story arc, Scout Comics decided that it would be a bit more efficient to get the book out there to more people, to where instead of putting out issues 1, 2, 3, and 4, now that we have issue 1 out, the plan is to then put out the graphic novel in September, so that way it can get out to a wider audience in bookstores and elsewhere. So, but then after that, I believe the plan is to put out issues 5 and then 6 and then so on. But after those couple issues are out there, then they will also be collected in a trade. So putting books in a trade is just another way of making it easier for people to find the stories and to better pick them up. Because when you put something in a trade collection, again, you can put it in bookstores, you can have it on Amazon, and it's just another way of getting the story out there.
Right.
I'm gonna print mine out and I'm gonna drop it from the sky, and that's how I'm gonna distribute.
Oh, you're gonna do it leaflet style?
Yes. Sell it out of the trunk of my car.
There you go.
Whatever works.
Oakland style. Hey, yo, I got this book. Y'all want to read this book? I got this book.
I don't have a book, but I have one story of mine that I submitted for copyright. Just one. I don't know. I just to see like if it's because it's something I do. I shared this before and some other publishing guys that were on here. Is it Nate and Josh?
Yeah, Nate and Josh from they put out Night of the Chihuahua.
Yeah. Night of the Chihuahua?
Yes. Okay, dude, you have to read it. Night of the Chihuahua is basically Resident Evil meets The Walking Dead with mutant chihuahuas. It is
oh my god.
It is so good, dude.
Oh my god.
And it's not even it's so bad. It's good. It's like it's actually really well written. And it plays out like an 80s horror film. It's mutant chihuahuas, dude. And the chihuahuas themselves, they haven't evolved like this yet because they haven't put out issue 3 yet. But in the later issues, because they've already put out promo art for it, when they start evolving, I guess the chihuahuas are going to start evolving and becoming more deadly. They start getting the vampire mouths from Blade 3. You know how like the whole mouth opens up.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I'm so excited to read more of this book. It's so good, dude.
Who publishes that one?
Their publishing company is called they're self-publishing.
Is it okay? I was just curious because that honestly sounds like something that Scout Comics would put out. Like, because I mean, like they've got like so many different varieties of books. They also, but I mean, like in terms of like horror stuff, they've got some really great ones and some pretty quirky ones too. Like one of their best titles is a book that's literally called Stabbity Bunny.
Stabbity Bunny.
Why does that sound familiar?
It's it. Go on to scoutcomics.com, look it up. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. It's really good.
I don't know why. That sounds super familiar for some reason.
Pork Chop Express is the name of the publisher.
Oh, yeah. And anyhow, they sent. I was talking about how like there's what am I trying to say? I must have caught my mom's inability to speak while she was here.
I'm gonna show him this.
Sure.
Is it? Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is that just one of the chihuahuas? Or is that like the mouth things?
Yeah. So this is a promo piece that they did. So it's not an actual character from the books.
It's supposed. It's like the Biggie Smalls like picture.
Yeah.
It's that, but like a chihuahua.
This one's actually one of the characters. Her name is Fifi. Right. But I mean, like some of this artwork, dude. Like, look at this.
Oh yeah, man, this would fit right in with some of Scout Comics' titles.
Yeah, this and like I said, it's a good book. It's a very well written book. So
anyway, so they sent us some information on how to get things copyright things because I'm to the point where like I don't really care about what people think about the things that I write, and now I just kind of want to share it because I have kind of enough of it together that I can share it. But I don't want to share it and then somebody to like steal it and like claim it as their own. So they sent me some information on kind of like how to protect it. So I figure I'd start with one of the stories that I'm gonna give away as I'm gonna give as a Christmas gift to some people. So not that I don't trust them, but it's like, you just never know with that kind of stuff. And I don't want to be like, years from now regretting like, oh, I could have just copywrote it and blah, blah, blah. So anyway, so I did that and we'll see how that works out.
do you see any other questions in the chat at all, Jack?
Oh, yeah, James, how do we get Wannabes, local and online, etc.?
Well, as of right now, the issue 1 of Wannabes has been out since like June 29th. But the issues are also readily available on scoutcomics.com. And if you go onto scoutcomics.com, you can also find in the different variant covers that they have. They have ones that are exclusively only available on their website. Like one of them is like part of what's called the VHS variant that they have for like a lot of their titles. It's like literally a comic cover that's like designed to look like an old school video cassette cover from the 90s, like Disney or whoever would like release their stuff from the vault.
My coworker has one of those. She has a Beauty and the Beast one in her office actually right now.
Nice.
Because I was like, why do you have a VHS thing? And I opened it. I was like, holy crap, this is a comic.
Dude, so I did not understand the variant covers for your book until I read it, and I was like, oh my god, these are fucking awesome. Because like they're like 100% evolution when you actually go look at what the variants are actually doing. I'm like, oh, this is smart.
Mm-hmm. And even just like the standard covers for the comic, like we have a cover A and a cover B, and like I don't know if you saw, but if you put them together, it makes the one image.
Yeah, I saw that. I picked up on without actually reading the book, because when I saw the variants that you sent me, I was like, okay, this is one image right here. It's just two halves of one image. But then when I read the book, I was like, oh my god, this makes so much more sense. I like this.
Yeah, and of course the official shirts are also a great representation. The first cover. This was actually Richard Rivera's a great idea to show the evolution of the character, starting out as just a kid who's super into comics, trying his hand at being a vigilante, and then ultimately getting the powers. It's
right.
It shows how that ends over time. And of course, Walt the Drench, he also gets his own variant of that on cover B.
Right. And see, that's my copy of the book right there. So yeah, man. That's it. I'm 100% behind this, man. I do want more of it. So before we jump into the bracket here, I'm gonna ask some follow-up or some wrap-up questions, and then we'll jump into the bracket and you can have some fun with us. So what is your favorite kind of taco?
My favorite kind of taco? Well, would I be wrong in saying that I don't really like tacos?
Oh, come on, man. That's sacrilegious here.
That's it. I'm sorry, but just like if you put like shredded lettuce and tomatoes or something on anything, I just don't like it.
It's okay.
I'm more of like an enchilada kind of guy.
Okay. I'll let you get away with that one. That's fine. And it's funny because we interviewed the Sandlot last weekend, the cast of the Sandlot.
Oh wow!
And one of their guys goes, "Yeah, I'm not a taco guy. I'm more of a burrito guy, but just bean and cheese burritos." And that just became an ongoing joke all weekend. Like every time we saw him anywhere in the show, "Hey man, you want a bean and cheese burrito?" And he's like,
I love bean and cheese burritos.
But it was just because again he was just like, "Yeah, no, I'm not a taco guy. Burritos, but just bean and cheese burritos." And then it was funny because after that, some of the other cast members started saying what tacos that they like. He goes, "Dude, I should have said that. That would have been better, man." And we interviewed them on Saturday, so we were like Sunday. Me and James more than anybody was like, we should go find a Taco Bell and just go get a bunch of bean and cheese burritos and just go bring them to them.
Oh my god, that is so cool. That's seriously awesome. I love the Sandlot.
Yeah, man. That's going to be on our new show. So we've got a second show that's audio form only. That is called Comic Conversations. And what we're doing is we've already released 10 episodes, but what we're doing with this one is so we interview we do all the celebrity interviews at a bunch of different cons. So what we've been doing is recording those episodes and then releasing them for people who miss the cons. So you can go back and listen to the interviews if you didn't have a chance to actually listen to the interview. And in this particular case, because we got invited, we were at LA Comic-Con, we set up a whole bunch of interviews, and one of them was with the cast of the Sandlot. So That was a pretty cool interview. They were a whole bunch of fun.
So awesome.
But yeah, if you want to check that out, it's called the show is called Comic Conversations, and it's right now it's on our regular Distance Nerding feed. You'll see it pop up as Comic Conversations.
Okay, and someone's asking if the shirts are available. Yes, the t-shirts are available exclusively on scoutcomics.com. So these come in a variety of sizes, both for kids and adults. There's one that has the full cover, or one that just has the logo, if that's what you want. So again, everything's available on scoutcomics.com.
Awesome. And again, guys, if you look at the bottom of the screen right there on the scroll, we've got the website, his social media, and everything like that, which we're gonna get back into here in a second. So what's some advice you might have for anyone trying to break into the industry, man? Like, I mean, you're breaking in right now yourself, but now that you're starting to get into it, what's some advice that you would give to someone who is trying to get to the point where you're at right now?
The best advice I can really give is to truly believe in what you're writing. Just write something that you would personally enjoy. Just don't go into it thinking about okay, what do the people want? I think they want this, or I think they want that. No, just focus on what you like and the kind of story that you would personally enjoy, and just see where that takes you. And also don't be afraid of constructive criticism, because I mean it's one thing to have your work insulted by rude rude jackasses and everything, but it's an entirely different to have someone say, I see potential in this, but there are also some things that should be fixed or can be made better. So just, if someone does come to you saying that they do genuinely want to help you because they see a potential in your work, be open to their criticism, and just realize that sometimes in order to have your work put out there, your original vision might not be what the final one looks like. But I mean, for the most part, my book is exactly what I wanted it to be. I just had to just tweak it in terms of the amount of text and some of the dialogue and also a bit of the tone, but the story, the characters, the vision, it's all basically what I had in mind, just a lot more refined than what I originally envisioned, which was a bit more raw.
Right. I mean, dissenting opinion is always good, just because it helps you refine what you're already doing.
Right.
So, it's no opinions are actually bad opinions, because a lot of times whoever doesn't like your work, that just helps you refine what you're doing, and you can make it better.
Yeah. And at the same time, not everyone is going to like your work. You can't go into it trying to appease everybody, because like the old saying goes, you try to appeal to everybody, you end up appealing to nobody.
Right. Those are great pieces of advice, man. We really do appreciate that.
I have a question, and I'm
okay.
sorry. I have a question. I might be putting my foot in my mouth by asking this, but while you were submitting to different places, did you ever have to tell somebody no thank you?
So actually, no. That at that point just never happened. Like I said, for the most part, I just got rejection after rejection, and just there was one publisher who I thought originally I was gonna go with, but then just they stopped contacting me, or or I don't remember exactly what happened there, but basically it just didn't happen. But but from the moment I started working with Scout, it was okay, this is actually going somewhere.
Right. Oh man, this
sounds like you had a good experience with them too, so that's good.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Awesome. So I've got a very challenging question for you here. Okay, who would win in a fight, Zapster or Static Shock?
Are we talking when they're both new at the game, or is Static the experienced hero at this point?
You know what, man? Because you know your character and you know where your character is going to go. Let's say they're both in their ultimate forms. All right. Who is a stronger character in a fight? They're both seasoned, experienced veterans at the superhero gig, right? Who wins in a fight, Zapster or Static Shock? Like, we're talking like Justice Society Static Shock. You know what I mean?
Mhm. Okay, and I don't want to sound completely narcissistic here, but given the fact that Zapster has both flight and super speed on top of his electric powers, I'm gonna have to go with Zapster.
I mean, okay, again, we haven't gotten that far into the story. You know where he's going to go. Static Shock can't fly. Static Shock technically can because he can make stuff levitate, but he doesn't actually fly, right? So it's like, so you have that plus he doesn't have super speed. So I mean, that does give Zapster in a clear advantage in a fight.
Right.
Alexa, set a timer for 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
No, Alexa.
Plus Zapster is also the kind of guy who's he's really grown up on hero worship. Like superheroes have been a big part of his life as well since he was a kid. And issue 1 does make that clear. So whereas Static on the other hand, I don't really think he was that into what made superheroes tick until he himself got powers, right?
Right. For the most part. I mean, it sounds like Zapster is he's kind of like Kamala Khan, where Kamala Khan was a super fan before she became a superhero.
I can see that. That's a good comparison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Kamala Khan was like a super fan. Like this, all she cared about was, the Avengers. I want to be an Avenger. I wish I could have powers and be an Avenger. And then she gets superpowers and becomes an Avenger. So it's like,
I'll always remember issue 2 of her book where she first turned into the old school version of Miss Marvel, and that one panel where she specifically says, "I wish this comic didn't give me a wedge. This costume didn't give me a wedgie."
Because that's talking about how they all wear spandex. I mean, like I love stuff that's meta like that, where they make fun of some kind of trope that's been in a comic forever, and it's like, well, why do they have to wear spandex? Okay, let's make a joke about them wearing spandex.
Well, I mean, it's not so much the spandex, just I mean, you remember how Miss Marvel's costume looked like,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I guess the spandex material could also be a big part of the problem. I remember specifically when New Avengers first started out, there was this one scene where they were all captured in the Savage Land, and they had their costumes taken off for whatever reason. And Spider-Woman said, they could have at least kept our underwear on, and Spider-Man said, I don't wear underwear. It's like, how can you not wear underwear? And he said, I chafe.
Yeah, that's even more reason to wear underwear.
So it's canon in Marvel that Spider-Man goes commando under his costume.
I mean, that sounds like 100% a Peter moves. I mean, this may be why Wade has an actual obsession with him. So, because again, it is canon in the books that Wade's omnisexual. So it's like, so that all being said, right there. So what's next for you, man? Aside from the next couple of books going on, do you have any other books that you're writing or anything like that? Any other plans that you have? Are you doing any other books with anybody else, or are you just really focusing on Wannabes?
Well, for the most part, I am really focusing on Wannabes, although my editor, Andrea, has suggested that it might be a good idea for me to write a one-shot book for this a horror title. Because horror titles are really popular right now. So he suggested maybe it might be a good idea for me to have at least one of those in my catalog. And I actually did pitch an idea to him, and he said he said it sounded like it had real potential. So I'm going to try working on the script for that and see if I can get 6 pages of of art for that commissioned, and see if Scout is interested or not.
Nice, man. I'm again, just as somebody who knew you as just a fan and seeing where you're going, man, I'm not only super proud of you as somebody who knew you before, but just happy that your dream is coming true, man. At least to an extent, you know what I mean?
Yeah, thank you so much.
So I'm 100% happy for you, man, and want I really want everything for you to take off and grow,
again, thank you so much, and thank you again, especially for having me on the show too. This is just so fantastic.
Absolutely, man. You know, we love this. It's not even just that we support, you know, indie comics, because we do love to support indie comics, but just, you know, if I get a chance to support an indie comic that's written by someone we know, then why the hell not?
Yeah.
You know, so no, yeah, dude, keep killing it, man. So that all being said, last little bit right here, where can everybody follow you and learn more about what's going on with you, man? So again, I have everything on the scroll on the bottom, but just so everybody knows here before we get into the bracket.
For our visually impaired listeners.
Well, well, for anyone who wants to follow Wannabes on Facebook, you can find me at facebook.com/wannabescomic, and on Instagram you can find me at Wannabes Comic Creator. So I make sure to post on there or anything like any other time that, like, there's going to be, like, a new spotlight of the book, or if I have like any interesting news on, like, the development or anything. And eventually I'll start, like, sharing some behind the scenes images and everything, just to tide people over for when the graphic novel does eventually come out, because again, it is coming in September. So just, I'm really looking forward to that. And of course, there's anything about the book can also be found on scoutcomics.com.
Oh yeah, so you just kind of Zack Snyder everything and just throw everything on online. Hey, let me just show you everything I'm doing right now. It's coming. I swear it's coming. I mean, whether you hated him or loved him, Zack Snyder was really big about making sure his fans were in the know. So, all right. So that being said, Jack, we got a bracket.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Are you gonna stick around for the bracket, Mitchell? Cool.
And just to give you guys progress on what's going on here, so it's starting to look a little bit like R2.
I'll be right back.
All right, you can see right there, top of his head. And again, for anybody that didn't see the body last week, all right, so we've got whole R2 body. Now these things on the back right here is because his little arms pop out too, so you can pop that out, and this right there, and he's got like little arms that he had from the movies and everything like that. So pretty cool stuff. And then of course he leans back and pops out so he can walk.
Does he magically sprout jets that disappear as soon as we get to the original trilogy?
You know what? I was hoping that they were gonna have something in here that had like a reference to it, and they don't. I think this is an original trilogy version of it, because I know that at some point there's a lightsaber I get to build that I can put in his head.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, so there's like a little mini Luke's lightsaber that I can put in this.
Okay, so for the bracket, we were doing ultimate Christmas music bracket. Did anybody do their homework? Everybody remember what their homework was? Twisted Sister, Christmas music.
We listened to one of those songs on our way to our little event on Friday.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so far we've gone through Last Christmas by Wham versus Santa Claus is Coming to Town by the Jackson 5. And Last Christmas by Wham won that one.
Wham!
Next up, hold on. Where did we start? Did I start on the bottom? Oh no, I started on the second one. Okay. So then we were gonna replace Mariah Carey, All I Want for Christmas Is for You. We were gonna replace that one with the Twisted Sister. So we're gonna do Twisted Sisters, Silver Bells, versus Do They Know It's Christmas?
Oh, very nice.
Because to be fair, I'm already sick of Mariah Carey, and I haven't even heard this year yet.
So, oh.
I'm trying to think of how I know. Do they know it's Christmas? I can hear it. But I can't think of how it goes. Let me look it up really quick.
So, do they know it's Christmas time at all?
Oh, yes.
And then launch it. Then they launch into "Feed the World." Let them know it's Christmas time now.
Better than I could have ever done it.
I think we have the right person on for this episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do not feel like I have to carry this part of the load alone.
Yeah. And actually, could I suggest a song for the bracket?
Absolutely.
Let's say, have you guys ever listened to the Nightmare Revisited track, the redo of like all the different songs from Nightmare Before Christmas?
Oh, absolutely, dude. I love.
Right back.
Yeah. My favorite version on there is the version of "Making Christmas" by Rise Against.
That's actually a really good version, man. I like that one. My favorite song on that entire album is "Kidnap the Santa Claus" by Korn.
Yeah, yeah. La 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 la. Yeah, that's
Kidnap the Santa Claus.
Yeah. One song that I wish was on there, and I can't believe it's not, is the Fall Out Boy cover of "What's This."
I thought that was on there.
No, it's not. It's part of the regular movie soundtrack, but you have to like buy the whole soundtrack just to get that one song.
Oh man, I thought it was part of the revisited one.
Yeah.
Sorry guys, I'm multitasking. I have my Christmas party for work tomorrow, so I'm just doing my pie shells.
That's okay.
Okay, so I have two. So I walked right out in the middle when I shouldn't have. So are we replacing a song on the bracket with Mitchell's song?
My suggestion was the cover of "Making Christmas" from Nightmare Before Christmas, the cover of it by Rise Against.
The only thing with it is because we have to figure out what song we would be taking off the bracket because it's a pre-made bracket. So
I don't know what Christmas and never mind. That's a Run DMC song. I'd like to keep that.
okay.
I mean, we don't like John Lennon, right?
Oh yeah, John Lennon's great.
I was gonna say, what's wrong with John Lennon?
No, I'm saying we can switch out Happy Christmas for this. No, not that one. I don't know. These, as much as I like that suggestion,
There's not really any ones that are good enough to take off either.
I mean, I can't think of how the Nat King Cole "The Christmas Song" goes.
Let's say, that one. Shoot, I should know this. Hold on, let's see. Nat King Cole. That's the one that goes. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Straws nipping at your nose.
I mean, we can get rid of the politically incorrect one. Baby, it's cold outside.
Let's say, come on, don't go there.
No, I'm just saying we could replace it with that one.
Oh, well, okay.
What do you think, Philippe?
Yeah, we can totally do that.
Okay. That's okay. Just remind me the song when I get there because I'll enter it into the official record. Okay. So let's go back to the current bracket. So we have Twisted Sister, Silver Bells for 2 so far, and Do They Know It's Christmas with none. So Philippe, what is your vote for?
Which one is it again?
Twisted Sister, Silver Bells versus Do They Know It's Christmas?
Do they know? Let's go with Twisted Sister just because it's so out there.
Is it going to be the Padme?
I don't think it'll be the Padme, but I mean, like it's different. Definitely, And Mitch, you probably don't understand that reference. We did a like almost a year ago. We did a best Star Wars character reference or best Star Wars character bracket, and a former member of the show rallied everybody in the chat to vote for Padme Amidala over Darth Maul as the best character.
Oh wow!
And I never forgave her for that because I was like, Darth Maul is one of the most well-written characters in Star Wars, and you just got Padme Amidala, probably one of the poorest written characters, voted on as the best character over.
Though I will say she has one of the best lines in the prequels. I always really resonate with that one line she says in Episode 3. So this is how democracy dies.
That is a good line. Yes, that is, and I 100% will admit that is a good line. But Darth Maul, again, one of the most well-written characters in all of Star Wars.
Yeah, well, I mean, like, are we going strictly by the movies or like the whole expanded universe? Because I mean, if we're going by the movies, then well, I mean, Darth Maul was like really just a guy who just looked good in Episode 1.
Yeah, and got chopped in half right in the beginning of the movie. No, we were going off because some of the characters that were on the bracket were expanded universe characters and Star Wars Clone Wars characters. Like Ahsoka Tano was on that list. So if Ahsoka Tano is on that list, that means we are definitely including all of Maul in his entirety. And
okay,
yeah, it was very upsetting.
Okay.
Very upset.
So I pulled my pie crust out. That should be the last time I'm getting that. All right. Mitchell, what is your vote for?
Yeah, the Rise Against version of Making Christmas.
No.
We haven't gotten to that one yet. We're doing the Twisted Sister versus.
Sorry.
That's okay. I know you're very excited for that category. It's next.
I say, right, it's either the Twisted Sister version of Silver Bells or Let Them Know It's Christmas.
Yes.
I'm kind of at a disadvantage here because I've never actually heard the Twisted Sister version of Silver Bells.
To be fair, we hadn't heard it until like last week. So,
you know, I actually really like Let Them Know It's Christmas, so I guess I'm gonna have to vote for that one.
Okay, good, because so did I, but it's not gonna win.
Because if you look at the chat and see how many people voted for Twisted Sister, it's great.
So I'm gonna go ahead and call that one with Twisted Sister.
Everybody kicking ass.
Everybody is gonna need to do their homework for next week.
We'll post the songs that are on this so everybody can listen to them.
Yeah. Okay. So next up, say what the name of it is again, Mitchell. Sorry, I have a really bad short-term memory.
Making Christmas by Rise Against.
If we weren't going to get sued by Disney, I'd play it, but
yeah, totally.
That's 100% a DMCA takedown.
Okay. So I have Making Christmas by Rising Against versus
Maybe It's Cold Outside.
No, we're replacing Baby It's Cold Outside
okay.
with Frank Sinatra's Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
Ooh.
A classic versus a hard rock cover.
Making Christmas,
la la la.
I'm voting Frank Sinatra because him and I are pals.
It's hard to say no to Sinatra. Let your heart be light.
So I guess I'm gonna count you for Making Christmas.
because it would be kind of dumb for us to bring in Making Christmas and then you vote for Frank Sinatra.
Yeah. No, I mean, other people might like it. It's not always about that. But So I'm gonna put you down for Making Christmas, Mitchell.
Yes.
Okay. What about you, Philippe?
I almost went with Rise Against, but I'm actually going to go with Frank Sinatra on this one.
Oh, Mom, you hush your mouth. You don't
What-
talk about Blue Eyes that way.
What did she say?
She said not Sinatra.
Along with what's his name from Disney? Bob Iger. Jackie would leave me for a young Frank Sinatra in a heartbeat.
No, not a young Frank Sinatra. He was a scrawny little kid.
Oh, then
with a weird looking jaw when he was a kid, but
middle-aged Frank Sinatra.
yes, middle-aged Frank Sinatra.
Whiskey drinking, cigarette smoking Frank Sinatra.
Yes. I mean, he was probably a fun date. I mean, it's probably a fun time. Okay.
In this cuckoo world.
I don't have very many passes. My passes are Bob Iger and Adam Driver.
Adam freaking, he has the biggest nose.
Oh, goodness. Okay. Philippe, what's your vote?
I said Sinatra.
Oh, just you and me makes 2. So the other one makes 3, which means we lose.
We're the only ones that voted for Sinatra?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Thanks a lot, Mitchell. No, I'm just kidding. I think he's got another song on here anyways.
I was going to say, this is going to be the Padme for Jackie.
That's okay. More for me, I guess. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and call that one with Making Christmas.
La, la, la.
All right. Let's see. Okay, and then now we're just back to the regular classics. So we have Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree by Brenda Lee and The Christmas Song by Nat King Cole.
I'm going to go with Nat King Cole on this one.
I'm going to go with him too.
Wow.
Rocking around the Christmas tree.
Philippe and Mitchell all up against Jackie. Anybody else in the chat? Rocking around the Christmas tree at the Christmas party. Something, something, mistletoe, and do some caroling.
I can't hear that song without picturing Kevin McAllister just like pulling the bandits, pulling those mannequins around.
Like for me, it's when I think of like holiday music, that song in particular is one of those songs that just immediately comes to mind. So if we're talking best like Christmas song, like Nat King Cole is in that arena. Like that, he's definitely a in consideration for something that should go all the way to the end.
Crap, Brenda.
A merry little Christmas.
Sorry, I'm laughing at my mom right now.
Oh, what'd your mom say?
She said, "Crap, Brenda Lee."
Crap, Brenda Lee.
At least she didn't say shit, Brenda Lee.
Shit.
Oh goodness. Okay.
Julie, we love you.
Okay, I'm confused by James. James said Christmas party hop, so I put him down for Rockin' Around. Then he said, but Nat King Cole is where it's at.
Okay, so James, we need a solid answer, sir.
And then Tyler said, I'm with Jackie. So if you're with Jackie, then you're doing Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree.
Yeah, because I'm going for Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas.
Brenda Lee, good, but not even the best Christmas tree song. What? Oh, Christmas tree, how lovely are thy branches. Oh, Christmas party hop is the line I forgot.
Hi, say, oh, Blue Eyes.
Oh, blue. Yes. Okay, I could take crap. Brenda. Oh, they're whooping people outside. Okay, he's voting for Nat King Cole. Okay, so I'll cross that one out. Put that there. Okay,
Last bag.
Tyler's voting with me. So far, okay. Nat King Cole. Oh, what's Nat King Cole?
Somebody said Nat King Cole.
Somebody said Nat King Cole. I don't know if that's a typo or not. I'm gonna vote it as. Now we're tied up though. Is the problem?
I don't want to make assumptions,
Oh,
but
wait. 1, 2, 3.
I mean, I also don't kink shame, so
we're tied up with Rocking Around the Christmas Tree versus Nat King. Oh yeah, it was a typo. I don't know. It said Rochelle's Bougie Boutique.
you know, the Bougie Boutique might be in favor of a little bit of S&M. I'm just
No, it said no. They said they corrected it.
I'm joking. I know I'm joking.
And then James is saying, Tyler, you're wrong. Vote with me. And then behind the mask is saying Brenda Lee. Yeah. Coming in hot. Just like the fajitas.
Coming in hot.
Okay. Any last votes? Now, okay. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So going once, going twice. Sold for Rocking Around the Christmas Tree at the Christmas party hop.
Shit.
Everyone dancing merrily in the new old-fashioned way.
Shit. Sorry. Again, it's a joke. And we're referring to her mother, to my mother-in-law.
All right. So we're gonna.
Wait a second. I know who that is. That's my mom's friend Rochelle. Hey, Rochelle.
Oh, hi, mom's friend Rochelle.
Oh, I just screwed up an entire family relationship. Hey, guys,
I didn't realize that. Yeah. Okay, her bougie boutique. Okay, I get that now. She sells purses and such.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that's the one side of the bracket. So now we're gonna go back through it and go to the next round. There is another side of the bracket, but we're gonna get down to this one.
I was gonna say, we might have to go and buy one of her purses just because I made very inappropriate jokes. So
bad and bougie.
Then again, most of my jokes are inappropriate. I apologize.
Okay, so we're gonna go back up to the top. We got Last Christmas by Wham versus Twisted Silvers.
You can do it, babe. I've got faith in you. You can do it.
All right. So, okay. Last Christmas, I gave you my heart, and the very next day, you gave it away.
This year, give it to you.
This year, to save me from tears, I'll give it to someone special.
I'll give it to someone special.
Versus Twisted Sister Silver Bells. Man, that is a tongue twister.
Yeah. I will never vote against Wham, so Wham wins.
I got to go with Wham too.
Why? Because Wham.
Sorry, let me hold on. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, Make It Big is the album where George and Andy earn the exclamation point.
Yes! I love that you understood that reference.
Hold on.
Normally, whenever I bring up that reference, like around my family, they just look at me and are like, what are you talking about? And I was like, come on, you saw Deadpool. How do you not know this?
I cosplay as Deadpool, so I mean, like, that would just be terrible if I didn't know that. But I've also been I'm very much a hipster when it comes to Deadpool, because my very first comic book I ever bought with my own money was Deadpool #1, Deadpool versus T-Ray. 1997. That was 5 years after he was introduced into comics in general. So,
and how much is that comic worth nowadays?
Which comic? The New Mutants #92, or the book that the Deadpool versus T-Ray?
Yeah, that one. Deadpool.
It's worth nothing because the cover got ripped off, but I still have it. I still have it, and it's actually in good condition. Aside from that, the cover was ripped off because I was an idiot kid that didn't understand that comic books were worth anything.
You're still an idiot kid who doesn't know comic books are worth anything.
No, I'm an idiot kid that understands comics are worth something now. That's why I keep them. So the ones that I have, I keep them in good condition.
Okay. Mitchell, do you go by Mitchell or Mitch?
Yep, I'm flexible.
Okay, I'll just call you Mitchell then. I'm gonna have Baywatch flashbacks if I call you Mitch.
That's another one of her hall passes.
No, do not bring that evil upon me, Felipe.
Oh, you have already stated.
No.
Off, okay.
No, not as he is today. No. Okay. I'm sorry, Mitchell. What was your vote?
I'm gonna have to go with Wham.
Okay. What about you, Philippe?
I've already said it. It's always Wham.
Oh man.
Literally,
Okay.
a whole conversation.
I actually voted Twisted Sister.
What do you have against George Michael?
I don't have anything. I'm trying to cause a Padme. No.
Oh, you would if you managed to get them to win. So.
Okay. So I'm gonna go ahead. Hearing none, seeing none. Call that with Last Christmas by Wham.
Yeah. Wham.
So the two songs that got added into the bracket are already out.
No, the other one isn't out yet, is it?
Yeah, it got voted out by Nat King Cole or by Frank Sinatra.
No, it didn't.
Oh, it didn't? It won?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, they had that song had 3 and Frank Sinatra only had 2.
Oh yeah, that was the one that only me and you voted for.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Next up, hold on. Next up, we have Making Christmas by Ray. Rise Against the Machine.
That by Rise.
Rise. Sorry, Rise Against.
It's a metal band called Rise Against.
Rise Against. Okay. I went to write an A and then I corrected it with an I, and then it didn't really matter because I couldn't remember what it was when I went back to it. So Making Christmas by Rise Against versus Rocking Around the Christmas Tree.
Ooh. So here's my problem. Here's my conundrum, right?
Mm-hmm.
I really like the Rise Against song, but we're talking best Christmas song, which
classic. Yeah, I guess it doesn't have to be classic, but
yeah, like we're talking best Christmas song, and as good as Making Christmas is, Rocking Around the Christmas Tree is a classic Christmas song. It is a song that when you hear it, you know it's Christmas time.
Mm-hmm.
Making Christmas can also, because it's Nightmare Before Christmas, can also kind of go with Halloween a little bit.
Yes. But you can rage around the Christmas tree with that.
Oh, totally rage around the Christmas tree. It's a good fucking plan. I might actually do that this year.
What if I say Brenda Lee kicked my puppies?
If you said Brenda Lee kicked your puppies, then I would say I would 100% say
allegedly.
Yeah, Making Christmas would win because she's a puppy kicker.
Okay, Rochelle Bougie Boutique is voting Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. My mom voted Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree. So far, Tater Salad and myself are only ones that voted Making Christmas.
Really? You voted for Making Christmas?
Oh God, now Tyler's changing his vote.
Wait, Jackie, you voted for Making Christmas?
Yes.
That surprises me.
Good. But now it's gonna lose. Well, okay, actually, no. So, Mitchell, what's your vote?
My vote is for Making Christmas, but I don't think it's gonna win now.
Well, there's time. I'm running the show. Philippe, what's your vote?
Shit.
That's not an option.
Yeah, I know. It's not an option.
We do that to my mom. We'll ask my mom a question and she'll go, shit. And I go, that's not an option.
You think the answer to my question is buh?
See, effing Tyler.
Well, you said if your aim is to no, never mind what she said. You know that one, right, Mitchell?
Say it again.
You think the answer to my question is buh? Well, she said, never mind what she said.
Oh man, that sounds familiar.
Badman.
Batman.
You've never seen the Badman videos? It's like they're making fun of Christian Bale's Batman.
Mm-mm.
It's like his interaction with the Riddler.
No, sorry, I haven't seen it.
Okay, it's hella funny. He goes, "Is the answer a bag of steel cut oats?"
Is it? No. Although that kind of reminds me of like those like old college humor videos that they used to do.
It is a college humor video.
Okay. So maybe I just haven't seen that video. Like the ones I think of are just like the one where he's like confused by like who Two-Face is. Like keeps on thinking it's like two different people.
So same character, right? It's the same character. And
okay.
They have an episode where he meets Riddler and he's trying to save Rachel Dawes from the Riddler. And he gives him a riddle, right? She goes, if your aim is to take a shot, I'll riddle you. What am I? And he goes, wait a minute. Is the answer helicopters? You think the answer? Oh no. She goes, Batman. Or Rachel goes, the Batman. The answer is, but she goes, no, shut up, right? And he goes, is the answer, buh? And she goes, you think the answer to my riddle is buh? He goes, well, Rachel, never mind what Rachel said. Is the answer helicopters? In what line of questioning do you think that the answer is helicopters? Well, if you aim and you shot, I don't know. I'm just shooting in the dark right now.
Oh my god. Okay, I need to look up this video. Like I've like got like so many hours out of just that Two-Face one in particular. Where he's like, I just want you to know, I'm completely lost. It's like, hey, are you serious? My face got burned and I'm insane now because none of this rings any bells. Like, it's been kind of a crazy day, all right? And the suit gets really hot. I tend to go in and out.
Oh, or the other good one was when he's coming up with his voice. Have you seen that one?
No, I think the only other one I've seen is like where he's like confused by like the idea of like what a gun is. As Mitchell Rowan's like, what happened to no guns? Like, this is a gun?
It's another good one too. No, he's got one where he's coming up with his voice and he goes, where were the other drugs going? He goes, well, that's the voice you chose. I'm just kind of workshopping it, man. I'm doing other things. And then like he goes through like a bunch of different voices, like, hello, governor. He goes, you chose to be British in Gotham. He goes, I don't, it's something different. He goes, he starts screaming at him. He goes, where were the other drugs going? Where were the other drugs going? He goes, wait. That one. Use that one. He goes, what? He goes, yeah, that's a good one. He's like, but I just lost my voice.
Oh, wow.
Philippe, what's your vote for?
I'm sorry. Where were we on this one?
Making Christmas versus rocking around the Christmas tree.
I'm going to go with rocking around the Christmas tree. Just because.
Oh, man.
Because
I'm going to call that one because it took you 100 years to vote.
Did everybody else vote for that?
For what?
Sorry.
No, I'm just saying everybody else in existence voted before you gave your answer.
Okay.
So I have to do some record keeping here. Okay.
I'm the worst, and I go off on tangents. If you guys haven't already been able to tell.
Okay, so now we're down to the final two on the left side of the bracket. Comes down to Last Christmas and Rocking Around the Christmas Tree.
Wham.
Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Okay,
Wham.
so that's your vote, Philippe.
Absolutely, it's my vote. My vote will always be Wham. Well, not always. It depends on what's on the other side of the bracket.
You're correct, Tyler. We did not get a vote. But Philippe took all the time that we had allotted to answer his, so that's why we called it. So,
Oh shit.
okay.
Sorry. I'm sorry, everybody.
So
Yeah,
he rigs,
Philippe took so long. Christmas is over.
so he rigs the votes. That's how it works.
Yes.
It's rigged.
Yes. Yeah, that's James's lot in life.
To rig the vote.
Yes.
God, I hate when it's all dark colors. I
Uh,
can't really see what's.
okay, James, what is your vote between Last Christmas by Wham and Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree by Brenda Lee? No, in no relation to Brenda from YouTube.
I don't think half these people know who she is.
Tardy to the party. All right. Let's see. What is my vote gonna be? Let me think.
Walking around the Christmas tree, the Christmas
Party. I think that's gonna be my vote. What about you, Mitchell?
I got to go with Wham.
All right. Let's see what else we got. Anybody else in the chat? Wham! I don't believe in kicking puppies. Okay. Oh my God. So you want to know something really fun? Oh no, never mind. So
Who kicked the
if anybody wondered, like, how do I keep track of votes? Because everybody's super interested. So I keep the way that essentially the way that I keep track of votes is anything that's voted in the comments, they just get a tally, and whoever's like on screen, I use their initials. That way I remember to ask you. And I don't forget and I don't have to re-ask you. But anyways, I was doing tallies, and Last Christmas by Wham happened to almost spell pimp.
Pimp?
Yeah, because it was your vote and then it was your vote and then an audience vote and then Mitchell's vote and then an audience vote, which was the line. So if it would have been a P, it would have spelled pimp.
Well, as we all know, ladies and gentlemen, pimping is not easy.
So right now, it just says PMI.
PMI?
Just says PIMI. Okay,
So I'm gonna finish this last little top piece that I'm working on right now, and then
Okay.
we'll end the show. So let's go ahead and
Okay. So dun 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 dun. Gonna go ahead and call it. Seeing none, hearing none. That Last Christmas is moving on to go up against the right side of the bracket next week.
yes!
Dun, dun, dun. And so next week, what we have to look forward to are gonna be Blue Christmas by Elvis, Little Saint Nick by the Beach Boys, Happy Christmas by John Lennon, Run Run Rudolph by Chuck Berry, Christmas Time is Here by Vince. I cannot pronounce this. I'm really bad at pronouncing things. Giraldi Trio. Do You Want to Build a Snowman? This Frozen soundtrack.
Really?
Feliz Navidad by Jose Feliciano.
Feliz
then-
Navidad.
Christmas in Hollis by Run DMC. That's what we have to look forward to next week.
Guys, do your homework. Again, what I'm probably gonna do is I'm gonna make everybody a nice little playlist. I guess maybe I might have to have James do one on Spotify because I don't have Spotify, but I can do one on Apple Music. But
Here, I'll post this on the Nerdington post.
yeah, and that way everybody who wants to be in the bracket next week, you'll have a chance to listen to all the music, and we can go over that. Actually, the bracket's going to be in the first hour next week, guys. So it's going to be a little bit different than what we normally do because Ben Schwartz, who's going to be on next week from Empire Comic.
Schwartz, like the Schwartz is with you?
Like the Schwartz is with you. Ben Schwartz, who's going to be on the show next week, is not going to be able to come on until the second half of the show. So he's because of that, we're going to do the bracket in the first hour. It's very different from what we normally do, but again, switch it up a little bit, guys. So everybody get your vote in very like super early next week. And if you're wondering why I get to play the music that we're playing right now and not that music, is because I have licenses for this music.
No. Sorry, I was trying to do something fancy.
Did you break it?
No, I did. I didn't break it.
Why you break it, babe?
I didn't break it.
Why you breaking stuff?
I didn't break it. Do you need to talk about old news, good news, blah blah blah?
I don't have any old news, good news, or anything like that. But actually, you know what? Okay, hold on. Like I said, I'm almost done with this part right here, so I'm gonna finish this up real quick. And I do have a couple of things that I'm gonna bring up and whatnot. So, let's go with this. Actually, you know what? Let's have some fun.
Or not.
This is what I'm gonna do here. I'm gonna open up Poddex. We're gonna do one question for everybody to answer here, and have a little bit of fun while I'm finishing this up, because I'm almost done with this little piece. But I figured let's do something fun here. So let's go with. Let's go all the way over here. We're gonna open up icebreakers. That's dark.
Types of gum.
Huh?
Nothing.
Yeah, that's pretty dark. God, these are. Oh no, I have one. Okay, sorry guys.
You should.
I actually skipped over a couple of them during the. Oh, this is a good one. All right, Mitch. Let me ask you this: what would be the worst movie sequel ever made?
Ooh.
Any movie, doesn't matter what the movie is. What would be the worst movie sequel ever made?
Is it, Bucky Larson 2.
Holy shit. Digging into the grab bag there. Bucky Larson 2. What do you think, Jack? What would be the worst sequel ever made? Especially considering that you are a classic movie person. So, like, what if they made a sequel to a movie that's like a classic movie? What would be a movie that you're like, don't do this?
Casablanca 2. Let's have Paris.
Casablanca 2. Let's have Paris.
I don't know. I mean, it could be that. I don't know. I'm not a fan of sequels, like, as a rule. I was trying to think of something clever.
Just say Man of Steel 2 to set the internet on fire.
The entire nerdverse would rally against you, Jack. The world is already pissed enough that Henry Cavill's not Superman anymore.
I didn't say that. Mitchell did.
I was merely trying to help.
Oh no! I thought for some reason the way he responded, it was almost like he thought I said that, and I didn't want him to think. I didn't want him to think I said that.
You don't feel like painting a target on the back of your head?
No, not today. Any other day, yes. I'm all for it.
She's like, but today I'd rather not.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like a movie where like at the end, like I don't know. I really can't. I like I said, as a rule, I don't like sequels. So
Yeah. Oh, how about this? Die Hard 6.
because there's so many of them.
There's been 5.
Oh. Oh. So Tyler said Passenger 57 2 LOL. James said that would be Passenger 58. This is totally unrelated to that question, but so this might seem really random. What I could say in a little bit, so it doesn't really answer your question, but it's the opposite of that question, kind of. So I remember when so you know the show Mad Men?
Yes.
Okay. So I have this weird habit of like I'll start watching something when it's about to be over. So I knew Mad Men was about to be over, and I was like, "Oh, great, perfect time to start watching this show." Plus, it's like it's like set in like the sick like I can't talk. It's set at it's really the 60s, but I think a lot of people think the aesthetic is the 50s, but I think it's like the early 60s.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I started watching it, and of course, like any series, like you get those like really good like seasons, and then there's like third, fourth, or fifth season are like, oh my god, like kill me now. And then like towards the end, like they get really good again. Anyway, so when I was watching that, I was watching Mad Men, and I was trying to hurry up and watch it before the last episode like came out. So anyway, I was the same at the same time I was getting ready to go to Poland because my brother lives in Poland, so I was going to go visit my brother. And I was watching it when I was in Poland too, and he goes, "Oh, have you heard the fan theory about Mad Men?" And I go, "No." He's like, the fan theory is that Don Draper is actually DB Cooper. Because at the beginning of the show, like the credit, I don't know what you call like a pre-credit screen. Is that what it's called? Or pre-credits? Like the intro. The intro credits.
Cold open. Yeah. Cold open.
Yeah. So in the beginning of that, it's I don't want to say it's a comic book, but it's like comic book Art Deco. It's a man dressed in a business suit just falling from the sky. And if you haven't watched Mad Men before, Don Draper, he is actually, this doesn't really spoil anything, but he's not who he says, who he really portrays. He's not like really that person. He's not who he says he is. Anyway, so that kind of tied into like he goes by Don Draper, but like his previous name was something like Dan Cooper or whatever, and then he changed it because he hijacked the plane. And there's like theory. Philippe and I did a live podcast where they went over like DB Cooper, and there's all these different theories about how he was probably in the military and all this stuff. Well, Don Draper was in like Korea or World War II or something. So he would have like the skills and the skill set to be able to jump out of a plane, and like he's really successful. And anyway, so and then if you like look at like the sketches of DB Cooper, like it kind of follows a little bit along the lines of, you know, Don Draper. Towards the end of the series, he has basically like quit Madison Avenue, but he's driving from New York to the West Coast. So the whole idea was that he, like, the whole like theory was that like he was really, this was like DB Cooper's like sequel, and then the show was going to end with him hijacking the plane.
Oh wow.
So, but that's not what it was. But I guess to sort of answer your question in a total opposite way is like, which show would I want to see a prequel to? That would be my, or what show would I want like an alternate prequel to? That would be my answer. Yeah, he's so interested. He's on his phone. You see him?
No, I just got a message from somebody. I'm sorry.
That's how he treats me.
I'm an evil.
Okay, I'm gonna make him make enchiladas with me right now anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Make me? I'm gladly gonna help you with that. Just a couple of things that are in here. So of course there's this whole chat, side chat about Passenger 58 and Passenger 59 and all that. Like,
Citizen Kane, Rosebud's Revenge.
that I saw that. Zoolander 2 already happened.
So I actually have a funny story about Citizen Kane. So back before, like, when movies were just on TV and you couldn't rewind. It's like if you missed a movie, you missed a movie. If you missed a show, you missed a show.
Right.
Anyway, so my mom was watching Citizen Kane, and so she was this is when she lived at home, and she was watching Citizen Kane, and it got towards the end of the movie, and her uncle, who they were supposed to be like really respectful towards, he didn't have a voice box, so he had like one of the like vibrator things, and it was towards the end of the movie, and he starts talking to her, and she's like, yeah, and then she's trying to like get him to hurry up and talk, and she couldn't blow him off or she would have gotten in trouble. So she missed the whole end of the movie and had no idea what the ending was of that movie because her uncle started talking to her.
Well, see, let me tell you about Rosebud. It
Don't be
is
rude.
Marley and Me Too. James, that already happened. Okay, so this is a joke that's been happening because this last Tuesday, James was saying, so we're ready to talk about LA Comic-Con now, right? Everybody, I wish Bex and Ray were here and was like, yeah, no, dude, we already did that. We did that last week. It was nice meeting you all, Mitchell. You did amazing. I had a great time watching. Good night. You have a great night, Rochelle. So again, this is the end of our show going on here. We're going to do some pluggables here. So Mitch, one more time, let everybody know where they can find you, where they can get all of your everything, and just everything about what you got going on. Tell them all about your appearances, anything you got going on, man.
So, well, as of right now, if you want to follow any news about the comic, my social media for it is on Instagram. It's at Wannabes Comic Creator, and on Facebook, it's Wannabes Comic. And any more information can be found on scoutcomics.com, where you can find all the info on the book, where you can purchase copies, find the shirts, and as far as like appearances go, I'm gonna be scheduling other events like that, hopefully to build up more and more to the graphic novels release in September. So anything that comes up, I will post it on my book social media.
Okay. Are you going to be appearing at like a Stockton Con winner at all, or maybe at I was gonna say Anime Medford, at SAC Anime?
So, not at SAC Anime, no. Possibly at Stockton Con. I'll have to see like how that turns out. Again, But any appearances that do happen, just follow along on the book social media to see what the deal is.
All right. Awesome, man. Jack, anything to report?
No,
No, not really.
I still just love Jesus and Johnny Cash.
There you go. Jesus and Johnny Cash.
Jesus
Ladies and
and
gentlemen,
Johnny Cash.
ladies and gentlemen, you know who I am. I am your boy, Young Phil. You guys can follow us everywhere. Any social media that exists: Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, all at Distance Nerding. Of course, we got that brand new reworked OnlyFans. It's just pictures of Aaron Watson's feet and mandals. So that is what we got going on here. Of course, MySpace, Friendster, everything that exists. If it's a social media, you can find us at Distance Nerding. Before we sign off and jump off right here, because James will murder me if I don't do this and I don't say anything about it, but you guys already know. And if you don't know already, we got merch, people. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We got merch. We got hats. We got shirts. Anything that you're interested in. I got that Baller Black right here. We got the Galaxy Gray hats. If you're interested in a hat, it is $35 per hat. Or if you get multiple hats, to say you want to get one of each color, they are $30 each. If you go and you want to get a shirt, you want to rock a Distance Nerding shirt, our shirts are $20 if you're local, $25 if we got to ship it to you. All you got to do is hit us up on social media, let us know that you're interested in some merch, and we will get it out to you. I will give you stickers for free. So let me know you want stickers. I will get you some Distance Nerding stickers. Now, on top of all that merch, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a partnership with Lucharillas. If you are interested in some Lucharillas merch, head over to lucharillas.com and get that Lucharillas Distance Nerding Nerdorilla shirt. We also have a bump box with our character on it and everything like that. Awesome stuff, guys. Head over to lucharillas.com and check out all that merch. Other than that, of course, you can find us on all the socials, like I said. That's it from us. I'm ready for the dance party. I don't know about you guys. You guys ready for the dance party? Yeah, let's do this. So let me get the right thing on. It is dance party time. Let's do this.
Synopsis.
First time I've done that in a while. I'm going to start here with Emmett. Big Ben the Scarlet Spider.
Distance Nerding. See everybody next week.